I was sitting in front of a form, pencil in hand, staring at question number 6. Caucasian, Chinese, or rather Asian Pacific Islander, other. I turned to my friend Zhang Kui. What am I supposed to put? I'm not Chinese and I'm not white. Well, of course, Zhang Kui wasn't going to tell me to check Asian. She didn't even know I was Chinese until she met my mom. Trish still doesn't even see it. Yet somehow, the old Chinese women always seem to find me at Linden's and things, and they just know. Well, Zhang Kui, she just shrugged and said, then check other. But then I'd have to explain. And then my mom's voice flooded in my mind. You're Chinese American, that's what I've always said. So I started to fill in the bubble for Asian Pacific Islander. My friend Laura asked, you're really checking Asian? Well, yeah, I'm Chinese. Her brown eyes flared up against her fair quartz complexion as I said, well, I'm not white. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. And then I remember my best friend Ring telling me that being Asian wouldn't help me get into Michigan anyway, so why even bother with it? The course of a lifetime, should a person see a stream of green light, quickly make a wish, for any wish will come true. Racing towards the green light, Chineseness is me. Chineseness is the way I can eat 2-3 bowls of rice at one time without anything even on it, even at breakfast. The more, the better. Easy to make. Spaghetti sauce on microwave white rice. Simple and plain, yet easier to make than a peanut butter sandwich, while all the while passing as a complete meal. Fried rice, really, that's just vegetables and rice and scrambled eggs. Eat it plain, eat it boiled, eat it fried, eat it with vegetables and sauce strewn across. Rice soup, delicious junk with delectable bits of pork that I sadly don't really eat anymore. Eat it in balls, wrapped up with goodies inside. See, take anything you want, cook it any way you want, and add rice to it. That's just the yummy side of Chineseness. I also really like cheese on my rice. I know that people, they eat beans on the rice, or they have their rice on the side, and there's the general Chinese rice and vegetables, but cheese, it's really good. Though, let me tell you, Chinese people don't really drink milk or eat dairy products. There is no cheese in China. My mom's even lactose intolerant. Lots of tea. There's definitely lots of tea in stir fry. Nonetheless, cheese and rice, very good. Chineseness is good luck money and red envelopes. In the beginning of January, sometimes in February, thanks to that finicky lunar moon, there comes a letter from my pawpaw, Lacey Wood for everyone, and a letter with Chinese characters standing one on top of the other, which then becomes my responsibility to find someone to translate for us. Red little package promises for a much more fortunate year than the last. Chineseness is the bond of cousins in San Diego, the respect still shown to grudging relatives, the familial tie to second and third cousin type strangers in San Francisco. Chineseness is that thin scarlet line of blood I can walk on, away from the father I fear becoming too much like, the father whose face emerges in the mirror as I look at myself, that father who I may never come to terms with. So let me run this race, win the prize, claim my Chineseness, and escape the one genetic hold he still has on me. And I decided I look like my Aunt Frances. Not my dad, not at all. I look like my aunt, my Chinese aunt. But maybe it's a myth I'm seeking, you say. Maybe it's a wild dragon chase anyway. 'Cause I can see in the black of their almond eyes, the eyes of my mother's mother and my mother's brother and my mother's sisters. I'm not Chinese enough to be Chinese. I collapse in their Chinese eyes, falling short of that finishing line. The boat sails without me, and the green light is still forever at the end of the dock. Chineseness is not me. Chineseness is not taking performance art just because it's interesting. I don't think there's even a word in Chinese for it. Toisanhua, Mandarin, Cantonese. There just isn't a word for something so distant from Chineseness. I can't run down like that. What is race, anyway? Is it defined by society, blood, language, food? What race your mother is. You can only ever really be sure of your mother anyway. And my mom's Chinese, so I'm Chinese too. So much of it I'd rather turn my back on. So why not just say I'm white? Everyone seems to think so anyway. I am the physical incarnation of the greatest insult. My mother stayed behind, finally standing her ground. She went and moved to California with the rest of them. And on top of that all, she married my dad, my very white dad. She didn't marry a Chinese man, and she didn't have Chinese children. I carry this undeserved mark in every moment of my being. I don't really see it. I'm their cousin and niece and granddaughter. I am family to them, yet they put me outside of the mall. Who is that girl I see, staring straight back at me? Why is my reflection someone I don't know? Sometimes I see it, though. I see the pale skin and the freckles, the eyes that aren't quite as almond-shaped, the hair that's not quite as fine and lacks that certain black shine. I stand next to my cousins and feel every single difference. The name, Melanie, in and of itself, is a finishing touch. It's the way they can't quite get Melanie around their accent. If they get the N, they lose the L. If they usually lose the N. Comes out kind of usually sounding like Melly. But if they try really, really hard and super concentrate, they manage something kind of sounding like Mallory, which is funny really because the R sound that doesn't exist in the Chinese language. I guess the LN combination is just too much, just outside the limits of Chineseness, like me. I have a Chinese name, Guacaling. It means country belle or something like that. But it's mine, but it's not of me. I tried one whole summer to learn how to write it. I made my papa show me every day, and I managed this little scrawl, and I never got it quite right. I'm not even saying it right. I know I'm not. If I try really, really hard and super concentrate, I manage something comparable to their Mallory. Every day when I look in the mirror to wash my face, I see the eyes that aren't quite as almond-shaped and the hair. Brown, not Chinese black hair. The pale, not olive Chinese complexion. The too angled to be Chinese nose. I see it also very like my dad. This then is the dilemma. Caucasian or Chinese, biracial not an option. Perhaps just check other.